Why stop at one hero when we can show you all of them?
Heroes are forged in darkness, defined by sacrifice. There is still hope for the multiverse.
Here we go.
We do not back down from a fight.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Now or never.
Zombies! Great idea!
That doesn't sound ominous at all.
Hey!
Who needs a plan? I have a shield.
What happened to you? You will see.
Witness the biggest heroes of the multiverse.
Or small, if you catch my drift.
What if?
You know what they say when you're out of luck. Always go duck.
I'm pretty sure no one says that.
Now streaming only on Disney+.
Welcome back, everyone. This is my new Marvel What If Episode 7 trailer, also basically a trailer for the rest of the series, sort of like a mid-season trailer. There's a bunch of Easter eggs, and obviously they're hyping up the big multiverse Avengers Endgame level crossover event that they're having with all the different universe versions of characters. So we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. There will be a What If Season 2 of 9 episodes, and it sounds like they're going to try and release it next year, so we won't have to wait too long for them to continue this story after the What If finale this year. But careful for spoilers for everything that's happened on the show so far if you haven't been watching the episodes. But if it wasn't clear from all the different episodes already, all the different episodes up to this point have taken place in different universes. As the watcher narrates the beginning of each episode, he talks about how people create Nexus events like on Loki by making some different choice during a critical event in the previous sacred timeline version of events, the Infinity Saga of movies so far. That's what we call the sacred timeline, basically, even though they kind of blew that up at the end of Loki. But when the characters do that, they create a branch timeline that eventually, over time, turns into a fully alternate reality. During the Loki series, they call that moving past Redline. When a branch timeline moved past Redline, the TVA technology that Kang created was no longer powerful enough to erase the Nexus event, and the new branch matured into a fully alternate reality. Now, obviously, the reason for controlling all this on Loki was a little bit different. The He Who Remains version of Kang created the Sacred Timeline, which was basically his original timeline, to prevent all the other Kang variants from the multiverse from destroying all of reality. The What If series is taking just a slightly different spin on that. Like off in a different part of the multiverse, events are conspiring to FUBAR the entire multiverse the same way that the Kang multiverse war will, but just using different characters to do that. And if it wasn't clear, the Marvel producers, the What If people, Kevin Feige clarified that the What If series is canon to the MCU, although you should think of it as the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse now. You can make the joke that everything is now canon through the multiverse, technically. I'll also be talking about this when we get into Venom Let There Be Carnage videos as well, talking about Tom Holland Spider-Man crossover, post-credit scenes, all that stuff. But during the What If intro graphic of the Shattering Prisms, that's meant to be a different representation of the Loki effect of creating branch timelines. But as you can also see from this new trailer, there are still a couple major Avengers characters from other universes that we have not met yet in the episodes. The biggest ones being Party Thor, who's being voiced by Chris Hemsworth. He did come back to do his episodes. Ultron, who I think they're calling the Infinite Ultron because he's the one who gets the 6 Infinity Stones in Vision's body. This version of Black Widow with Captain America's shield, or an alternate version of Captain America's shield, an alternate Ronin version of Hawkeye, and Captain Marvel, at least. There could be more characters that just don't show up in this trailer. There are only 3 more episodes, so I'm assuming that the next 1 or 2 episodes will finish introducing all the new characters. Then either the last episode, like episode 9, or the last 2 episodes will be them doing the actual big multiverse version of the Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame event. Wherein, based on some of this footage and the way the characters are talking, they fight both the Infinity Gauntlet version of Ultron in Vision's body, but also at the same time, while they're fighting him and his army of Ultron robots, it seems like Marvel zombies travel through the multiverse like they did in the comics and also join in the battle, and Ego the Living Planet joins with his version of Peter Quill to foobar their universe and possibly escalate things to a multiverse-level threat. So at bare minimum, it's sort of a four-way standoff Avengers Endgame situation where you have the multiverse Avengers coming together from all the different universes, then Ultron and his army, then Marvel Zombies, then Ego the Living Planet, who gets a huge upgrade. I did have a theory during my What If Episode 5 Marvel Zombies video because Janet Van Dyne was the patient zero for their universe and they were blaming the zombie outbreak on a quantum virus, that either the zombies themselves could use Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne's quantum tech to re-enter the quantum realm and use that to travel to other universes and infect the rest of the multiverse, which is kind of what happened in the comics, although they used a different way to travel the multiverse. Or the quantum virus could just spread through the multiverse on its own, infecting other realities. If it's quantum in nature, then it already has a connection to the multiverse. Because remember, in the Marvel multiverse, there are infinite universes, but only one quantum realm. The quantum realm is sort of like the connective tissue between all different universes. That's why in the Marvel movies, the Avengers are able to use that to travel to different points in the timeline in different realities. And also why Kang the Conqueror is going to be the main villain of Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, because all the Kangs used quantum energy to travel to different realities and start the Kang multiverse war. But if it wasn't obvious from this trailer, all the characters that they highlight in the trailer are meant to be the characters that will participate in the major Multiverse Avengers team-up crossover. Like, that's why they shout them all out in the trailer. And I love the joke about there being two versions of Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange. But as you can see, pretty much all the major characters from each of the episodes are coming back, and for instance, they're continuing at least some of the stories in the different universes. For instance, you see Captain Carter, she's wearing the Winter Soldier stealth version of her costume, like Captain America's stealth costume from the Winter Soldier movie. Just this past week in What If Episode 6, Killmonger's able to take the throne of Wakanda and become the next Black Panther. A lot of you were like, okay, his plan to use Wakanda to conquer the world seems like it's going to happen in this reality. Why didn't they show us that happening? Because that would be pretty cool to see. Well, here's the thing with Captain Carter getting the new costume and some of the other characters that seem like they've had minor changes. If you remember some of the earlier trailers, you can actually see scenes of Pepper Potts, Shuri, and the Dora Milaje fighting together in Wakanda against Killmonger Black Panther. So clearly they intend on paying off the setup at the end of episode 6 and some of these other episodes. Like we see footage of Ego the Living Planet after the end of episode 2 where he came to get Peter Quill at the Dairy Queen, but you didn't see what happened right after that. The Watcher just implies that things are going to end really badly for this universe. But here you can see him in the moments after that scene merging with his Peter Quill, using their combined celestial energy to complete his plan of terraforming their universe. But here's the thing, there's only 3 episodes left, so I'm wondering if they're going to continue all these different universe storylines in a single combined episode. Like they'll use one episode to tell you what happened after the end of all the different episodes. Maybe like the end of episode 7 they'll start, or episode 8, just them showing you what happens next in all the different universes. Then while they're wrapping that up, something else happens to explain how they foobar all of reality and start crossing over all the different Avengers characters from the episodes, paying off the big Guardians of the Multiverse in the finale. One of my few minor complaints about the What If episodes so far is that I think they played it way too safe with the story twists in some of the episodes. Like they could have gone way crazier. Really good example is the Dark Doctor Strange episode. It was fantastic. And I feel like they didn't actually lean into the Marvel of it all quite enough. Like they didn't serialize the story enough with proper post-credit scenes to help hype up the multiverse crossover from the start, the way you would expect them to do with post-credit scenes in Marvel movies. Like we should have seen at least a couple post-credit scenes by now, making it clear that the multiverse crossover was going to happen. The only way you'd have known about that would be if you watched all the trailers with a fine-tooth comb, like zoom and enhance on all the different frames, or if you watch my videos. Hopefully they'll use this to retune the episodes for season 2, just make it like a little bit clearer and get a little bit crazier. Also, if you didn't know, they are doing Loki season 2. I've already done a couple videos about that. Some of the Marvel Disney Plus series will get season 2s. And what's going to happen after the What If finale, if it wasn't clear, is that the Hawkeye series will be like the next big Marvel Disney Plus series, but that's not starting till the end of November. I've already done a couple big Hawkeye trailer videos, so I'll link those at the end of this and down in the description. But the other big thing you probably realized about this giant What If multiverse crossover with all the Avengers characters is that it's a good test case for a live-action Avengers Secret Wars movie series. Because there's no way you could pay off a full Secret Wars storyline in a single Avengers movie. Even the Russos, when they were promoting Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, were like, it would be really cool to do an Avengers Secret Wars movie series. We would have to do a couple movies for it, but it would be really cool. But if you spotted any other big Easter eggs in this trailer that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. My full What If Episode 7 video will post next week just like normal. I've got a brand new Venom Let There Be Carnage Spider-Man crossover video that I'm working on. That'll post tomorrow. Make sure you have alerts enabled so you don't miss anything. Everyone click here for my full Hawkeye trailer video and Daredevil Easter eggs. That's right, there's Daredevil stuff going on inside Hawkeye. And click here for my full What If Episode 6 video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.